Hello everyone, myself Baby Rani, working as Assistant Professor in Cybersecurity and Data Science Department in MLR Institute of Technology, Hyderabad. In today's session, we are discussing about identifiers and variables in Python. Overview of the presentation is: what is identifier, how to declare a identifier, rules for creating an identifier, what is a variable, how to declare a variable, and difference between identifier and the variable. And the last one is the Python keywords. So we'll go to the what is an identifier, Python identifier. Identifier is a name given to the particular variable or a function or a class or a module or other object. In any programming language, we need to store the values. So if you want to store a value, we have to use the identifier. So for example, A is equal to 10. A is an identifier. So the identifier is a name used to identify a variable, or A is equal to, we are calling a function, A is equal to greet. Here greet is the function call. So the identifier calls the function. So an identifier is a name used to identify a variable or a function or a class. So the identifier refers to the either character or a underscore. So if you want to declare an, or if you want to define an identifier, we need to follow certain rules. So here an identifier starts with letter A to Z. So if you want to define a identifier, we have to use either capital letters A to Z or small letters A to Z. Or you can use the special character, only the one particular special character for defining the identifier, that is underscore we are using for defining the identifiers. So this is the first condition. We have to start with the either capital letters or the small letters, or you can use the underscore for defining the identifier. The third point is the Python does not allow punctuation characters. Means for defining the identifier, we don't use special characters. Means at the rate of dollar or the hash symbol. So these type of characters we don't include for defining the identifier. So for identifying a variable, we have to use certain rules. The first condition is to, an identifier should not start with digit, but it can contain digits. Here what they are saying is to, we have to define an identifier with letters, with either alphabet letters, either the capital letters or the small letters, followed by a number or zero, but should not start with the number. So here it contains one example, 12AB. So it is started with the number. So it is not acceptable. The condition is to, it has to be start with the alphabetical letters, either small or capital, or it should be start with the underscore only. So AB12. So it starts with the alphabet followed by a numbers. It is acceptable one. So it is the correct syntax. The second condition for defining the identifier is, an identifier can contain underscores. So for defining an identifier, the second rule is to, with the help of underscore, we can define an identifier. The first example is underscore A is equal to 10. It is the valid one, or otherwise you can use the single underscore also for defining the identifier, double underscore also, and the triple underscore also. For example, underscore is equal to 100. It is the valid one. Next, double underscore equal to 200. It is also a valid one. The next one, 3 underscores. It is also a valid one. So here an identifier can starts with single underscore, double underscore, and triple underscore also. So these are the valid ones. So some of the examples also there. Underscore A is equal to 10. A underscore B means the part it is starting with the alphabet letters, and we are giving the gap between the with the help of underscore. So AB underscore equal to 30. So some of the examples we are having, underscore A underscore B is also called as it is also a valid one. Next one, AB underscore is equal to 50. So for defining a identifier, the first rule is it should be starts with letter, capital letters or the small letters A to Z. The second one is the small letters A to Z, followed by a number, followed by a 0 or followed by a special characters. Next one, an identifier must not contain special characters except underscores. So underscore is a special character. For defining an identifier, we can use underscore, but not remaining special characters. Remaining means at the rate, hash, dollar, exclamation mark. We can't use for identifying an identifier, for defining an identifier. So we have to use the underscore only. So this is the third rule. So here it is started with the first one, at the rate of A is equal to 20. At the rate means it is a special character. I already said identifier must not contain the special characters. Next one, A at the rate of B is equal to 20. So it is also, it contains the special character. So it is also shows the error. $B equal to 10. It is also not valid one. $B. So the identifier should start with capital letters, small letters as well as the underscores, but not the special letters, special characters. Next, the fourth condition is identifiers are case sensitive. So Python in a case sensitive language. So whenever you are defining a value, so for example, A is equal to 10 or A is equal to 100. If you want to print A value, it prints the 100 only. Or otherwise you are asking, if you are printing like this means print A. It shows an error. The capital A is, name A is not defined because you given the small a, that value, the value is 100, but the capital A is not defined. So it shows an error because the Python is a case sensitive language. So whatever the data given, in which case you are given the data, in that way only you have to print the value. So the capital A is different and the small a is also different here. So here some of the examples, A is equal to 100 and capital A equal to 200. If you are printing small a, it prints 100. If you are printing capital A, it prints 200. See another example, B is equal to 100, print B, capital B given. So it shows an error, name B is not defined. Means, so the small b is defined, but you are printing the capital B means it shows a name B is because it is a case sensitive language. So you have to use the, whatever the case you used, depending on that only you have to use the particular identifier. The next one, keywords or reserved words can't be used as identifiers. Keywords or reserved words can't be used as a identifiers means here we are having any programming language has some keywords are there. So every keyword is for some specific purpose. For example, if it is used for decision statements, for we are using for the loop statements while. So many keywords are there. Those keywords we can't use for defining the identifiers. If we are using those keywords, it shows an error. So for example, if equal to 100. First thing, it is started with the alphabets only. But the thing is, it is an keyword. That's why it is showing an error. So the next one, it shows the invalid syntax. Return equal to 10. Return is also a keyword. So it returns the data to the particular value. It returns the data. The function returns the value to the particular call. So here we can't use the return statement because the return is the keyword. So these are the 5 rules we are having for defining an identifier. The first rule is it should be starts with the capital letters or small letters followed by 0. It does not contain, it should not start with the number. That is the first rule. Second rule, so here we can start with the variable we can define, the identifier we can define with either single underscores or double underscores or triple underscores. For defining the identifier, we don't use the special characters. So it should be, so we don't use the special characters. The fourth is to, we can't use the reserved keywords for defining the so it should be starts with the first one is the either capital letter or small letter. It does not contain, it should be starts with the underscore or double underscore or the triple underscore, and don't use the special characters. The next one is we can't use the reserved keywords also, and the Python is also a case sensitive language. Depending on that only we have to use. If you are giving the small a means you have to use this identifier only. Don't use the capital A. Both are different. Now we are going to the next one, Python variable. So what is the difference between identifier and variable also we learn here. So what is a variable? Variable is nothing but the whenever it is holding the value, the identifier holds the value, we are calling it as a variable. For example, A is equal to 100. A we are calling it as a identifier as well as the variable also. Why? Because A holds the value 100. So, you see the first point, variables are containers for storing the data values. It stores the values. Just we declare a variable has name that is used to refer a memory. So, with the help of this, we are referring the value. And Python variable is also known as the identifier. So, the A is an identifier and it is also a variable because it holds the value. In Python, we don't need to declare explicitly variable. So here what they are saying is to, if you in C programming, if you want to use any variable, in the starting itself, we have to define the variables. For example, if you are performing the arithmetic operations, AB, you have to enter the int A comma B, means you are performing sum, subtraction, multiplication, division, modulus, everything. What are the variables you need? First itself, you have to declare in C programming. But in Python, there is no need of defining all the variables at the starting of the program. Depending on the situation, there is no need of declaration the before itself in advance. So, how we are defining the variable is, the N is the identifier. So, the left part we are calling it as a identifier or variable. The 10 we are calling it as a, the right part we call as a value. So, when we assign any value to the variable, that variable is declared automatically. Here, it is Python is a dynamically typed. So, there is no need of specifying the what type of data it is. For example, in C language, whenever you are starting the program, we need to declare the variables as well as we need to specify the data type also. Int A comma, B comma, C comma, like that we are defining. Here, there is no need of defining the, we can define like this, A equal to 100, B equal to 100. At the time of execution, it will understand what type of data it is. 100 means it is the integer data type. For example, M is equal to 20.5. It will take it as a float, and P is equal to Python. So, it will take it as a string. Like that, at the time of execution, it will understand what type of data it is. When we assign any value to the variable, that variable is declared automatically. So, there is no need of specifying the data type. Next, the equal operator is used to assign value to the variable. So, for assigning value to the variable, we are using the equal to operator. So, it assigns the 100 value to A. So, now we will see what is the difference between identifier, variable in Python. So, the first thing is the identifier is named used to identify like a variable, function, class, module. Means, for example, I have given some examples. X is equal to 5. X is an identifier. X equal to 5 is also a variable also because it holds the value. So, here X is an identifier. Next one, def greet. So, for defining the functions in Python, we are using the def keyword. So, the greet is the identifier. It is the function definition. So, the greet is the function definition. So, it is also a identifier. The name given to the variable, the name given to the function, we are calling it as a identifier. Class person. So Python is a object-oriented programming language. It supports the object concepts also. Object-oriented concepts also means class inheritance. So whenever you are using the class means we have to define the class name also. So the class name is the person. Person is an identifier. Here we are talking about the one particular person that is called as one object. So person, we are considering it as a identifier. Next one, identifier is just the name or a label. So the A, the X, the grade, the person all comes under the identifiers. But it is performing some different operations. But whatever the things we are for defining the values, for assigning the values, we are using identifiers. It must follow some rules. I already discussed all those rules. So here we'll see the difference of the variable. Variable is a type of identifier that refers to a value stored in memory. So when you assign a value to an identifier, it becomes variable. So whenever you are assigning a value to the variable, value to the identifier, we are calling it as a variable. Up to now, at that X means it is an identifier. X equal to 100 means it is a variable. So age is equal to 25. Age is a variable holding the value 25. Because of the value only, we are saying that it is an variable. For example, greet is an identifier. If you are writing like this means, if you are seeing like this means, it is a function call or function definition. So at that time, we are calling it as a function definition or function call. So here age is an identifier that acts as a variable because it's storing value. That is the difference between an identifier and the variable. Identifier, the name given to the variable, the name given to the function, the name given to the class. But the variable is nothing but it is identifier as well as it stores the value. That's why we are calling it as a variable. Next one, how to assign the values to the variables. See, the operand to the left of the operator is the variable. So, see here, n is equal to 10t. N means it is an variable. 10 means the right side of the operator is the value stored in the variable. So, 10 is equal to a. It is the not correct way. So, we have to assign the values like the left side, we have an identifier. Right side, we need to store the value. So, n is equal to 10, m equal to 20.5 and p is equal to Python. So, assigning multiple values to multiple variables. So, in this way also we can define, for example, x is equal to 100 and y is equal to 10, z is equal to 5. This is one way of declaring the variables and another way is to this way. So, assigning multiple values to multiple variables. So, a comma b comma c, 10 comma 20.5 comma Python. Means a, it assigns a, the first value to a, the second value to b, the third value to c. So, in this way also we can assign multiple values to multiple variables. The next one, assigning same values to multiple variables. Here, multiple variables are there, but we are assigning the same value. So, x equal to y equal to z equal to 50. In this way also, for example, x equal to 50, one way is y equal to 50, z equal to 50. This is one way. The second way is x comma y comma z equal to 50 comma 50 comma 50. This is the second method. The third method is in this way also we can write x equal to y equal to z equal to 50. Means the x contain the 50 value, y contain the 50 value and the z also contain the contain the 50 value. In this way we can declare the variables. So, in how many different ways for defining the variables also we see it. The next one is the Python keywords. So, whenever we are discussing about the identifiers, at that time, the last condition, don't use the keywords for defining an identifier. The fifth rule. So, Python has 35 keywords defined in it. They cannot be used for any other purpose like constants, variables or identifier names. So, here, so we don't use these keywords, means false, none, true, and, elif, del, import. Every keyword has some purpose. So, we can't use all these keywords for defining the identifiers, for defining the variables, for defining the constants. So Python has the 35 keywords. So, if you want to print the keywords list, we can use the help command. With the help of help, it displays all the keywords. Help, double quotations, keywords. It shows what are the keywords we are having. 35 keywords it will show. Written is the keyword, rise. So, here all of you observe that false, none, true. These three things, the first letters are capitalized. So, whenever you want to use these keywords, you have to write like this only. False, none, true. All these three things are the three words are the first letters are capitalized. Next one. So, already the note point is also there. Only false, none, true are capitalized. So, only those three words only capitalized. Remaining all are in the small letters only. Lambda, is, in, global, form, class, continue, def, del. Every keyword has some purpose. In later sessions, we'll see each and individual keyword in later sessions. And next one. So, if we want to display the keywords list, we can import like this also. Import keyword. So, we can import the keyword module. After importing, we have to print the print of keyword.kw list. So, keyword is an module, kw is an. It is the built-in function of keyword. So, with the help of keyword only we can access. That's why we are separating with the dot. Keyword.kw list. It prints all the keywords list. Two ways are there. One is with the help of help command. The second way is we have to import the keyword. After that, we have to print the keyword.kw list. It displays the keywords list. So, what are the list? What are the values we are having? What are the keywords we are having? It displays all those things. If you want to check whether the particular word is a keyword or not, we can use the is keyword function. Is keyword function. Is keyword is a built-in function. So, it specifies whether the particular keyword is it is in the keywords list or not. If it is in the list, it displays true. If it is not in the list, it displays false. So, the is keyword and the kw list both are the built-in functions of keyword. Whenever you are importing, then only we have to use the kw list as well as the is keyword also. So, here to check whether the given keyword is present or not. So, keyword.is keyword. Is keyword means it displays it checks whether it is in the list or not. If it is in the list, is means it checks and it displays either boolean value, true or false, or 1 or 0. So, it displays true. Means for is an keyword. Next one. Keyword is forward. Is keyword means false. False is also a keyword. So, for example, I am writing like this. Keyword dot is keyword false. Whether it will shows the true or false. False is there, but the thing is the false in the keywords list, the false is the F is the capital word. So, it defines that it checks whether the particular word is there or not. It checks each and every character. So, the false is not there in the list because the false statements in the form of the first letter is capitalized. That's why it displays false only. The false statement not in the keywords list. So, in today's session, we discussed about what is an identifier and what is an variable and what is the difference between identifier and the variable, what are the keywords we are having, everything we discussed. Thank you.